There is an overwhelming amount of hair growth products that are out there that will promise to make your hair thicker, longer, stronger. But in this video, I'm going to be revealing all the products I stopped using that actually led to massive hair growth, and you might want to stop too, or might get an idea of something else you'd like to stop. So let's get into it. The first product I've stopped using that has led to massive hair growth is sulfate-free shampoo. Now, I know this sounds a little counterintuitive. It sounds like it makes no sense because everybody says use sulfate-free shampoo and it's actually going to help your hair get softer. It's not going to get so dry and it's going to lead to so much hair growth because your hair is going to be so nice and soft. I have discovered, on the other hand, that when I use a shampoo that has a sulfate in it, I use much less, and most of the time it's way more effective. It actually unclogs my clogged follicles, meaning my scalp is in a great place to thrive. I don't get any dandruff. I rarely get any ishiness. Now I'm not saying I'll actively choose a sulfate shampoo over a non-sulfate shampoo all the time. If I have never heard of a shampoo, if I'm stuck and I really need a shampoo to wash my hair, I will always pick the sulfate-free option just because there's a chance that the one with sulfate may be drying. However, there are tons of shampoos out there that have sulfates in them that are just mild and they actually do the job without stripping your hair or drying it. And some of my favorite shampoos, you guys know them, the Amica one, Olaplex, and even The Ordinary has done a new shampoo. I haven't tried it yet, but they actually explicitly say they are pro sulfate. So I am dying to try that shampoo. Not sponsored. I'm dying to try that shampoo soon and hopefully I'll try it. But you don't have to run away from them just because they have a sulfate or one silicone in them that makes you think it's going to damage your hair. If the product is formulated well, it will work well. Just like a badly formulated sulfate-free shampoo will either not clean your hair enough or it can also be drying. So I ignore the label. I focus on the ingredients in the product and see what it does, if it would actually make my hair soft, and then I go ahead and use that. So not banning sulfate-free, but I usually choose the sulfate option. This next one is another one I haven't done in so long, I can't even remember, and it is something I have definitely stopped doing that has ultimately led to much more hair growth, much faster than usual, and my hair is just thicker and healthier than usual in general. And this is DIY deep conditioners. Now, I'm not against them for other people, but a lot of science has shown that DIY deep conditioners are not as effective as store-bought ones, only because the molecules in most of these conditioners are not fine enough, they are not small enough to actually penetrate your hair and do the job. You might think, well, if I eat an avocado, I easily digest it and I absorb all the nutrients. Well, your stomach has different kinds of acids and all these different things that can help break down that food and easily absorb it. Your hair is just a fiber, so you don't have any like chemicals on your hair that will help break down product to make it easily absorbed. That's why the easiest way to have a product easily absorb into your hair is to break it down into the easiest way it can be absorbed. For example, breaking down a protein into an amino acid. So something like rice water over blending actual rice would work better because it can actually penetrate your hair shaft. So far, I have not found any single DIY that works better than any of my favorite deep conditioners like the Amica, the Cure, Amica's, I always forget this one, the Nourishing something. It's in an orange container. I think that's the most popular one. The Shea Moisture Jamaican Black Castor Oil or Manuka Honey one, or Olaplex. No DIY has ever come close to working on my hair as good as those ones. So I'm not saying they will give you no benefit. They can probably give you some benefit. You can get a little bit of moisture, but when you compare it to something that has been formulated to actually absorb into your hair shaft and do its job, you notice that there's a big difference. And so now I just never see the need to use any single DIY deep conditioner. Another product I have stopped using, or another group of products I have stopped using, are products that are only specifically targeted at Black people all the time. So I'm not saying none of the time, but most of the time. Straying away from that aisle. You know the aisle when you go to the grocery store or the beauty supply store, and there's that one little aisle or section where it's just like catered to Black people, and then there's everything else on the other side. It's not that I've stopped going to that aisle or stopped using those products. Actually, in this country, we barely have an aisle. The aisle is online. But I stray away from that. I don't just go into the kinks and curls section. Rather, I look for what my issue is. So I naturally have dry hair. I have a drier scalp. I have dry skin. So instead of looking for something that says specifically for Afro, kinky, curly hair, I would go and look for something that says for extremely dry hair. And if the best one happens to be in the section or a product that is marketed to Black people, I will pick that one. But if it's something that is marketed to Asians or Caucasians or whatever, I will pick that product because marketing is just a tool, okay? So when these brands advertise products, sometimes they will just advertise it to the market that they think they can get the most money from. So I have noticed that a lot of products that are marketed towards African Americans, Black people, or just people with very tight curls, I find that a lot of those products are on the cheaper side, and products that are marketed to people with like bone straight or blonde hair are more products on the expensive side. Now, expensive doesn't mean better, and cheaper doesn't mean cheaply made as well. Sometimes a lot of the price just goes into the packaging, or it's just a name brand. Like if we had a Gucci deep conditioner, just the fact that it is Gucci would make it more expensive, even if what's inside is Shea Moisture quality. So yes, that's done. But I look at a product as a whole now. I don't look at the race it's marketed to. I just look at what it's mainly supposed to do. And I have found so many gems. Now, when I look at a product like the Amika Deep Conditioner, yes, they do target Black people. But honestly, I don't think I would find the Amika Deep Conditioner in that aisle. You know what I mean? If you go on the website, you're probably going to see people with really curly hair and a lot of people with loose curls and people with very straight hair. And it seems like it's more marketed to the looser curls, straight hair type of people. But that is actually the best mask I have ever used on my hair over any product that has ever been marketed to like the tightest, kinkiest coils, because I have very curly, pretty dry, textured, thick hair. And so when I look at Olaplex, that's not what I think of. When I look at the leave-in conditioner, I'm like, that's a tiny bottle of leave-in conditioner, okay? There's no way it's going to go all over my hair. I'm probably going to use it twice and the whole bottle is going to be finished. To my surprise, that little 100 mils lasts me months and I use it all over my hair, and it's literally my favorite leave-in conditioner ever. So I advise you as well to not stop using products that are directly marketed to you, but just stray the aisle and you might find some gems that you didn't know you needed. The next hair growth product, I wouldn't say I've stopped using, I have stopped buying. I have stopped buying this hair growth product because I feel like I can do a better job myself. This is like the opposite of the DIY deep conditioners, and this is hair growth oils, hair growth promoting oils. And while I think a lot of them out there are amazing or almost the same as what I can get at home, we're talking about Wild Growth, Do Grow, all these oil mixes out there, I find that those oils are really good and they really actually promote hair growth or do whatever they say they're supposed to do. However, my DIY oils, using the exact measurements of everything that my hair personally likes, like avocado oil, rosemary essential oil, peppermint essential oil. When I make my own oil mix, I am in charge of everything that my hair likes. So if my hair likes avocado oil more than castor oil, when I make my oil mix, I can put more of avocado oil, less castor oil. If I know my hair loves rosemary oil, which honestly almost everybody's hair does, I will put a little bit more rosemary oil and put a little bit less of something else. When you buy an oil mix, you are not in control of that. And usually if you read the ingredients, the first oil is the one that is the most. Now, of course, you do not expect an extremely high concentration of essential oils because it's not necessary and can be harmful. However, if let's say your hair likes avocado oil more than olive oil and you buy an oil mix and avocado oil is fifth on the list and olive oil is first, the only thing that's usually different with these oil mixes that you purchase is that they have a longer shelf life because they have preservatives in them, or sometimes they might have a more refined texture because usually even with more expensive skincare products and hair care products, what makes them more effective or what makes them feel more luxurious is the formulation, the way it feels, the slip and all that. But I find that the effectiveness when it comes to these hair growth oils works the same, or my oils even work much better. So I have stopped purchasing them. If I got one for free or if I had the opportunity to find a really cheap one, I would still use it, but I just find that mine work better and are cheaper. The only kinds of hair oils that I buy are not necessarily targeted to hair growth. I buy oils like what I said, for the luxurious formulation. So if I want it as a finisher for my hair, if I wanted to add a little bit of shine, if I wanted to be more of a serum to seal my hair and make my frizz go down and make it a little smooth, like Biosilk or even Amika's Shine Oil, any of these kinds of oils, I would purchase those because I cannot formulate that myself. You literally need some kind of machine and a scientist, honestly, to figure out the perfect formulation to give you that kind of luxurious look and feel to your hair. So that's the only kind of oil I would purchase. Okay, the next thing that I stopped buying to promote my hair growth, and what you might want to stop buying as well, is biotin. Now, you might think, biotin actually works. It really made my hair grow. When I took biotin for the first time, I got about 2 to 3 inches of growth in a single month when I usually get 1 inch or half an inch. If that happened, that means you are deficient in biotin in your regular diet. So all hair growth supplements or any kinds of supplements are only meant to help supplement what you can't have yourself. It is not a replacement. So a lot of foods that I eat usually have a lot of biotin in them, like eggs, fish, and like different kinds of fish, salmon, hake, mushrooms. These are all foods that I actually love, and I would most likely pick them over other foods most of the time. And I eat them multiple times a week. I eat eggs, some form of an egg in my food every single day. I have mushrooms maybe 3 to 4 times a week. I have fish at least 1 to 2 times a week. Seafood I have at least once a week as well. So all these foods contain a lot of biotin. So there's no need for me to supplement it. And if I did supplement it, there's different grades of biotin or different strengths. There's like 5,000 mcgs, 10,000 mcgs, and everyone says take the 10,000 mcgs. So if, let's say, I'm lacking in about 500 mcgs of biotin, if I take the 1,000 mcgs or 2,000 mcgs, that means there's 1,500 extra. Now, if I take the 10,000, that means there's 9,500 extra mcgs of biotin, which could just end up causing me extra breakouts, or it's all going to be wasted because if you don't know, everybody says you need to drink much more water when you drink biotin. That's because it's a water-soluble vitamin, which means you're just going to pee out all the excess and you're literally wasting your money. You're just going to pee it out. So getting a higher percentage, unless you're actually lacking, is not actually going to help you. So I have been really focusing on improving my diet and improving my movement and improving my water intake. So you might find that the combination of drinking lots of water and taking that biotin supplement is helping your hair grow, but it's actually just lots of hydration and a good amount of biotin, and you're peeing out the rest. So I personally do not need biotin, and if I'm lacking a little bit, I would definitely get it from a multivitamin. Multivitamins are something that I do like to take, and maybe a hair, skin, and nails vitamin, which is similar. It's got a bunch of different vitamins mixed in together. Please ignore that I go between vitamin and vitamin. I don't know. I just do. Okay. So because there's so many mixed in those, you find that you get a better balance of everything together. The only supplement I take by itself at all times is iron. That is because I don't eat that much meat. And while I do try to eat a bunch of fish and other products, I still don't think I get up to the amount that I'm recommended to have for my age, my weight, and my size. So I definitely only take an iron supplement, but biotin is always included in hair, skin, and nails or a multivitamin. The next thing I have stopped buying that has massively helped my hair grow to a degree is detanglers. And the reason is I rarely detangle my hair as an extra step. I usually only detangle my hair in the shower on my wash day with my deep conditioner in my hair or with my leave-in conditioner in my hair. I will do my thorough detangle. I will wash it out. I will proceed to do everything else. And I find that if I add the detangling step to my routine, it is one more reason for me to not wash my hair because my hair already takes too long to do. Adding a detangler, I feel like, is a waste of money for me and usually a waste of time. The only time I would say I suggest you to use a detangler is if you leave your hair in protective styles for a really long time, like 1 month or 6 weeks. Then when you unbraid that hair, if you want to get out all the shed hairs and do a nice detangling session, then maybe you could use a detangler. And if I had to do that, I would probably use the one by African Pride. It is very cheap and very effective. That is a great one, but honestly, I find that most of the time it is not necessary, and less detangling most of the time leads to less manipulation, less shedding, less breakage, and more hair growth. Now, if you're interested in trying any of the DIY oils that I mentioned, I have found the rosemary and moringa combination to be the most effective hair growth oil that will give you the fastest results. So you can watch this video right here to check that out, and you will absolutely love that formula. And even if it doesn't give you growth, it will at least give you thickness and health that would lead to growth. So make sure you check that out. Hit my face right there to subscribe if you didn't. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!